Muy buenos días. Esta es una entrevista que vamos a grabar con Bram de Paso Paso y con la familia Syoum. Syoum, creo. En la entrevista se lo preguntaré cómo se dice bien. En el que vamos a descubrir un poquito más en qué consiste el café en origen, café en tueste y el café al final para el consumidor. Vamos a conocer a la gente que está detrás del café. Y creo y espero que va a ser una charla amena, pero va a ser en inglés. Voy a intentar ser lo más claro posible, voy a intentar que la entrevista se entienda lo mejor posible y si tengo tiempo intentaré transcribirla para la gente que el inglés le cuesta un poquito más. Así que espero que os guste, que lo disfrutéis y a ver qué nos cuentan. I was going to tell Bram that I'm starting my company, Cafeshi. It's like a multi-roast subscription service. Each month I pick up two roasters from Spain because I'm based here, and one roasted from Europe. I would like to be bigger, but it's time to time. And I like to choose special projects and special ways to people who work with coffee in a different way or in an original way. And I was telling to Bram when I found him that I love this project. The one you got the 5 families with five different origins, directly from farm to the roastery, and I love this way of thinking. And I have in Spain one similar case with a Colombian family. It's called La Guasira, and they farm in La Guasira in Colombia, and they bring their own coffee to Spain and other countries, and they roast here with the same brand, with the same thing. So I put your project, I put La Guasira project, and another one. It's also from Colombia. It's called Amor Perfecto. It's like perfect love in Spanish. And this is a different way because they roast in origin and they ship worldwide later. It's a different way because they keep the instead of the 1.8% of the money of that coffee in Colombia, they keep the 6% of the money in Colombia. So it's a way to help the Colombian people to have their coffee there. So I put these three projects together, and I think it was going to be a nice way to expand the world of coffee more than talking about coffee. It's talking about the people it's behind that coffee. And at the beginning, I was thinking to talk a little bit in Spanish with Bram and in English with you, Bete. But I don't know if maybe we can do this all in English, and then I will try to make the translation for my people. Uh, I don't know, Bram. Maybe
I think in English is
it's going to be
is better, so Hester can understand. She always has good things.
maybe it's going to be
say.
more international later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
I will try to learn Spanish, but you need to give me some time.
Don't worry. It's
also Hester's name. It says Betabuna here on the screen, I see, but it's Hester is her name, and Betabuna is the company.
It's the company. Okay. So making some presentations. My name is Jose Manuel. I'm from Spain, from Cartagena, a little city near the Mediterranean Sea. It's the same name that it has in Colombia, in Cartagena. There's another name there with the same another city with the same name. And I started with Cafeshi, because I loved coffee. I got in love with coffee, with specialty coffee, and I started researching and finding a lot of people that do a lot of coffee magic, as I say, with the beans, with the micro roasteries, and I said, okay, I need to let the people know about this world. So I started Cafeshi because of that, because I want to pick from each one and show the people. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of talent, there are a lot of people involved in this world that deserve a little space on in this crazy world. and so I don't know, Bram. We start with you. How did you start Paso Paso?
Yeah, thank you for having us here, Jose. I started with the idea for Paso Paso already almost more than 3 years ago.
Okay.
Already, where I saw still a very big disconnect in the coffee world between the coffee producers and the coffee drinkers in the coffee shops as well. So a lot of the information flow and is managed by coffee roasters, and they do a good job at that. But I thought there's so much more potential for more connection still if the producers were more involved in the roastery as well. And not only that, of course, also this will bring extra benefits to the roastery in terms of how much they can rely on me, on their own company, to buy their coffee at good prices, and benefit as well from the money made in roasting coffee.
Okay. So how did you start to talk with the farms around the world?
Yeah, so I was working for Ally Coffee before, a coffee import. I was the sourcing manager there. So I used to buy coffee for many years and traveled all around the world to visit many different farms. And with the people I was closest with, also people who were my closest friends, from those relationships, those are the people I started talking with. And they really had not only the most outstanding farms I visited, but also had great character, great personal ambitions to join a project like this.
Okay, so you find farm with the Buna, so
yes,
and I never it's very hard for me to remember the name of your family. Sayuna, how it's pronounced?
Yeah, so our family name is Syoum. Yeah, so it's actually the first name of my in-law grandfather, and in Ethiopia you're named after your father's or grandfather's first name. So our whole family is called Syoum, and we keep that legacy. So our daughters also are called Bet and Fana Syoum. So yeah.
Okay, and how did you get go? Oh, you was born in Ethiopia, or you owned the farm some time ago, like from your grandfather, or how it started your part of the journey?
Yeah, mixture of all of it, except that I'm not born in Ethiopia. Originally, I'm from the Netherlands, but 15 years ago I moved to Ethiopia, and there I met my husband David. And we were into community development in there, not in coffee yet, but we were kind of touched by the lack of opportunity people with disabilities have, and we started a non-profit organization there to help them empower and start their own businesses. But David's grandparents, they were a small coffee farmer in the region of Sidama, and they were farming on a 2-hectare plot, which was not all planted with coffee. So it was very, very hard for them to sustain life. And they were not the only one. In Sidama, in the village of Tafrekela, almost everybody relies on the income of coffee, but it's not enough. And when grandfather Syoum he became 108 years old, but in his last weeks, he was very sad because nobody wanted to take over the farm. David's parents, they love coffee, they love farming, but they didn't saw also an economic perspective in it. And there we sit like a family, but especially David and me, like how can we use and utilize this coffee farm into another community development projects, and use the potentials of specialty coffee in there. And that's actually how we founded Betabuna, because Betabuna means house of coffee. And house of coffee, for us, a house or a home is a place where everybody can learn, can develop, feels safe, feels happy as well, has a future. So that's why we named it Beta Buna, to the legacy of the vision our grandparents had and also our parents still have. And as a family, we started farming on that 2 hectares. But yeah, of course, it's not enough, 2 hectares. So we also expanded in farmland in Sidama, but also in the region of Gucci, we started the farm. And while farming very good specialty coffee, we really try to incorporate in our business model from the start the inclusivity. So how we can use the community to create opportunities for them and with them to develop economically. And it sounds a bit abstract. I would advise you to visit, but not everybody has the chance. But so we always say we are in the business of coffee, but also in opportunities. So we create opportunities while growing specialty.
But it's lovely to hear that the work you do there, and how is this line connected to Germany with you, Bram?
So through coffee, of course. So I met Hester, I think now it's 3 or 4 years ago, pretty much when I was developing the idea of Paso Paso, and I had been buying coffee in Etiopía for a long time before that, but I was always quite frustrated in Ethiopia that I could not get the amount of traceability and transparency I was looking for. Even though I was visiting Ethiopia and talking to exporters, a lot of projects for me, they were lacking still a lot of how would you call it, substance. It was all about the coffee and the price.
That's the point. Yeah.
Always. So I never felt that deep passion for coffee, but also, as you said, the people of the coffee, the community behind the coffee. And with Hester and David, I found people in Ethiopia that was really connected very well with my vision for coffee as well. And even though I did not know them as well as the other coffee producers that are part of Paso Paso, the other ones I've known Silvio for 8 years, for example, and some other people for 5 or 6. I felt a strong connection, and also they already had the idea as well to do things a little bit more different than the classic coffee industry. So we connected very quickly, and Hester caught on to the idea very quickly as well.
Oh, nice. So it was like a connection that it was made in a natural way. That you both were looking more or less the same idea from both sides. That's great.
Yes, exactly.
And how is in Ethiopia one day, one journey in your farm?
Always different. There is no single day that is the same as the previous day, like yesterday. How is one day at the farm? I mean, we do farming, but that's, with respect, the easy part in Ethiopia. So although it's very complicated as well, I mean, you need to do some soil management. You need to train also a lot of farmers in the community. So we train them on our own farm. We treat the plants, of course, during harvest time. We are completely busy with hand-picking, immediately getting those cherries to the mill. But the mill is a bit further away from our farm, so already that comes with a challenge. Then we are processing coffees. You can imagine, you saw Ethiopia, we don't have a lot of fancy machine lines. A lot of machines or washing lines and equipment is really outdated. So we work sometimes with machines and equipment of 30 years old because there's simply no other available, and it's very hard to import. So more than coffee, we are working with people. So and that's a big challenge. And you can talk supply chain wise, like, okay, these are the steps, but the quality falls or succeeds with people. And so that's also part, I think, of the success of the long-term vision of us, that if you manage to develop a concept and that includes the demands and the development of people, your quality will improve step by step. So that's actually what we do from day to day, how we can improve quality through people.
That's perfect. That's something I didn't expect it about that. I was thinking that you were going to be very technical, and we pick the cherries and we do that and that. No, but you talk about people all the time, and that's the main point of everything in this world. Huh? The people who is behind. And Bram, we're going to start finishing this little talk. I would like to spend the whole morning talking because it's very interesting, and I think it's the first time I'm so close to someone from the whole chain or most part of the chain, no, in this. But where can we find Paso Paso nowadays? Because I saw that you also exported to the US. And
Yes.
we can find you in Germany, in your website. And do you have more places where we can find you?
Yeah, so we're slowly building our network now. We have our own website, so we ship straight from the roastery to all of Europe. And then we have some mostly in Hanover local coffee shops that serve our coffee. We have a coffee shop in the Netherlands called Camu in Breda, and we do subscriptions like we did with you. We did one in the US just last month with the Pull & Pour Coffee Club. We've done with Bean Bros in Copenhagen. So we pop up every other month in different subscriptions, and then we're building a network of coffee shops. So there's a coffee shop as well in Prague. Got Mocha. There's one in Stuttgart called Fitzen. So we've been around for 5 months now, going to 6 this month. And we're slowly building our network. We hope to reach more people soon as well.
Well, that's wonderful. There's like fast growing. And do you have any challenge because the way you work? What I'm afraid, and I suppose you will also, it's about the quantity of coffee or the demand you can absorb. When you start growing in that way, it's okay. From Petebuna, from the families, you have a limit, and from Costa Rica, you will have another limit. And
so we will have. I mean, that's the nice part in a way from the business model is we have a limit. So we're not looking for unlimited growth, right? Okay. So we're not. I think that's what happens to a lot of roasteries. They become really big, or they're able to go to a big supermarket or to Target or to whatever, and then they say, okay, now we need more coffee, and then they start buying coffee from people they don't know, and then they start buying coffee that is more commodity grade. We also love to sell in the supermarkets. Not that we don't want to sell in the supermarket, but we'll say like, okay, hey, this is what we have, and then it's done, and then we'll continue to buy from the same farms, the same qualities they want to sell us at the same prices. So we will never kind of say, okay, here we're going to look away because, it's a supermarket. They don't really care. So we don't have that luxury. Okay. So we kind of protect ourselves in our own ambition. And maybe in 5 years, we reach the full harvest. Then we can say, okay, hey, now let's see what we want to do. Maybe we want to include more farms. So we say, hey, Hester, let's build another company in Ethiopia. And then we make farmers in Ethiopia owners of that company, and we start to build the Paso Paso company structure down towards neighboring farmers. Or say, hey, okay, let's find a farm in Colombia or in Indonesia that wants to join. Who knows? We're very open, and in the end, everything we want to do, we discuss internally, and we decide democratically. For now, we still have a way to go before we can roast all the coffee they produce. We have 2 very nice Gießen machines.
Oh, nice.
They both 15 kilo.
15 kilo.
Blue and red. So we have some space to roast more coffee. But I think for now they have more coffee that we can sell, but that's the goal. So we have a clear goal what we want to reach. And then also we don't necessarily want to go over that per se.
That's right.
It's nice. It's a nice. I feel a little bit of pressure to sell more coffee, to buy more coffee from the producers, of course. But most of it goes to planning as well. So that's our challenge. We take a lot of risk to buy a lot of coffee from ourselves to make sure that we can always deliver coffee and always have the same coffee available as well.
That's nice. So any other word from the other side of the world, from Etiopía, something you would like to tell?
I think a lot of consumers also and coffee shops are sometimes forgotten in how important their role is in creating a sustainable world in the coffee sector. And it all starts with sharing the right stories. So starting with asking question is a good thing. Don't believe everything what's said until you can verify it, and just be critical. Be critical on the quality, but also on how it's produced. And just by having that attitude as a coffee shop, as a consumer, I think through collaboration you can grow together. And I think that thing is really underestimated, that collaboration is really key in this way. So also for us as a Paso Paso, as a farmer, collaboration is the most important thing, and it starts with asking questions and listening to each other. So that's my key message.
That's completely true. So thank you both for this little chat. I hope we will have more, because I'm discovering an awesome world in specialty coffee and awesome people. We need to keep moving right now to keep the day on. And
yeah.
So
thank you, Jose,
do you have
us.
Any question for me?
No, if you want to have another chat, you can always just text me on WhatsApp. And if you want to have your subscribers for Q&A or anything, I made Paso Paso to do this, to make these connections between people that normally don't connect. So it's very nice to do this now. And if you want to do it again in the future or include more people, it's just a WhatsApp message away.
Perfect. That would be great. So nice.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for your time. So
thank you, Jose.
Have a nice day.
Bye bye.